Hello everyone. Time and again, government has been given due importance to protect the interest of MSME players, that being micro, small and medium enterprises. In this budget also, one could see various proposals either on the policy side or on the tax front which have been proposed to further protect the interest and the growth of the MSME sector. One such amendment from a tax perspective pertains to section 43B of the Income Tax Act. In simple terms, under section 43B, deduction for expenses pertaining to certain items are allowed only on payment basis, even if these expenses would have been accrued and remain outstanding at the end of a particular year. These expenses being statutory dues, payment for employment provident fund or interest to financial institutions. Government wants strict adherence for complying with the due dates while making payment of these expenses, and hence the stringent provisions of section 43B to allow tax deduction of these expenses only if these are paid within the due dates. Now, with respect to MSME entities, there have been an amendment proposed under section 43B which provide that any entity which is making payment of any expenses either for goods or services which have to be paid to an MSME entity, the deduction for that would be allowed on accrual basis only if those payments are made to MSME within the due date prescribed under the MSME Act. If these payments are not made within the due date and are remaining outstanding, then the tax deduction of the same would be allowed to the taxpayer only on payment basis. If they do not make the payment of this, then the deduction is not allowed at all. Let's take an example of this. If an amount is outstanding for 23-24 as of 31st of March 24, and the same has been accrued in the books of the taxpayer. If the payment and the due date for the same is, say for example 10th of April following the earlier year, if the payment is made within the 10th of April, then the deduction is allowed on accrual basis. However, if the payment is not made within the 10th of April, being the due date under the MSME Act, but it is made say potentially on 15th of April, then the deduction for the same would be allowed in the next year, which is 24-25. And if the payment are not made, the same would not be allowed at all. I would believe this to be a path-breaking proposal which has been made to protect the interest of the MSME, especially in respect of getting their dues in accordance with the contractually agreed due dates in accordance with the MSME Act.